All right, today's lesson is systems of linear inequalities. Our objectives are to solve systems of linear inequalities by graphing and to model real-world situations using systems of linear inequalities. So, same as where we had only one inequality, we're now going to have two inequalities, and we are going to do the same idea as the last lesson, but we're going to add extra steps. You're going to put the 4 and the 2 into the x and the y, and we're going to check and see if they're right. So it would go 2 is greater than 4 plus 4. Well, immediately I know that's not a true statement because 2 is not greater than 8. So I would do 2 is not greater than 8, and I would say no. If it said yes, then you would go on to the next one and see if it works. Let's try B. So again, x and y. So I have 6 is less than or equal to negative 2 times 8 minus 5. So 6 is less than negative 16 minus 5, which is 6 is less than negative 21. Well, again, that's not correct, so that would be a no. If both of them were yeses, both equations were yeses, then it would be a yes answer. That's how you would do your problems today. So let's look at how to graph these. Again, I would like to use the y equals mx plus b. That would be your slope-intercept form. This is already in its form, so I'm going to keep that red. So I'm going to say b equals and m equals. b equals 4 on this one, and m equals 1 over 1. So it starts at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y line. And it goes up 1 over 1. Now, notice it says greater than, so it's going to be, it doesn't have an equal sign underneath it, so it's going to be a dotted line. And then I'm going to highlight, and it's greater than, so it's going to go above the line. So today's lesson, you will need two separate colors to do highlighting with, so 2 different color highlighters. So you might want to put me on pause right now and find another highlighter. Okay, so I'm going to do the second equation. Y is not by itself yet, so I'm going to subtract 3x to both sides. So 4y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 2. Divide by 4 to everything. I'm going to just put it throughout the whole thing here. So it's going to be y is less than or equal to negative 3/4 x plus a half. So I'm going to have b, that would be a half, and m equals negative 3/4. So I'm going to show you how to graph that one. Start with a half, and you put it at the half point line. Now, I'm going to, don't put any more dots, but I'm going to go down 3 from that half point line. So that's 1, 2, 3. Notice they're all still on the half point lines. And then I'm going to go over 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's where your dot would be located. All right, now you're going to graph the line on that one. Since it is has an equal sign underneath the inequality, it's a solid line. I would like you to use a ruler to do your work. And then we're going to graph it, and it says less than. So I'm taking a different color highlighter. You're going to highlight that. So where all of them hit, where each of the two separate highlighters hit, that is your answer, is where they that's where those points work for both equations. Okay, let's try B together. Red. The first one, it's inequalities in y equals mx plus b form, so it's going to be b equals -5 and m equals -2/1. I've already put it in its fraction form, so -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes down to 1, 2/1. And it has an inequality sign, equal sign underneath it, so it's going to have a solid line. And then it says it's y is less than, so we're going to take our blue highlighter, or whatever highlighter you decide to have. And now we're going to graph the other one. Now the problem is it's not y equals in its form, so I'm going to get y by itself, so I'm going to subtract x. So 2y is less than -x plus 3. Then I'm going to divide by 2. So y is less than -1/2 x plus 3/2, which is 1 1/2. So I find 1 1/2, put a point there, and you go down 1, not down a half, down 1, so down 1, over 2, 1, 2, so your point's right there. And it is a less than sign, no equal sign, so it's going to be dotted. So and it says it's less than, so take a different color highlighter. I'll do yellow this time, lots of. Alright, so I have it where y is greater than or equal to -3x plus 1. That is this pink one right here. And y is greater than 1/2 x plus 3. And that's the blue or purple, depending on what you see. Alright, let's try the next part. A zookeeper, Christian, wants to fence a rectangular habitat for hyenas. The length of the habitat should be 80 feet, and the distance around it should be no more than 300 feet. What are the possible dimensions of the habitat? Alright, so you have a length that is greater than 80 feet. So that would be L is greater than or equal to 80 feet. And we're going to make that our length right here. Length. And then I have the perimeter of a rectangle would be 2L plus 2W. And then 310 is the most you can have. So I need to turn that into L equals something. So I'm going to come over here and do 2L plus 2W is less than or equal to 310. Divide by 2W, subtract by 2W. 2L is less than or equal to negative 2W plus 310. Divide by 2. So L is less than or equal to negative 1W plus 155. Alright, so I found out what L was, and then I made a graph, and the graph is length is on the side and width is on the bottom. And notice I made them all the same. I made it 20, 40, 60, 80. Each point is worth, each line is worth 20. And now I'm going to graph it. I'm going to start with L is greater than or equal to 80. So I'm going to change the color so you can find it. So you're going to find 80 on the Y line. And it's a solid line because there's an equal sign. And it goes across. Just goes straight across. And you're going to highlight it. Now you're going to take your second one. And I'm going to use purple. I'm going to find 155. It's going to be around there. Okay, 140, 160. So it's about right here on there. And it's negative 1. M equals negative 1. So I can make it... That's going to be difficult to try to find when you have it by 20. So I'm going to make it negative 20 over 20 because I can amazingly do 20 over 20 really easily. So I'm going to bring it down 20. So right here and over 20. So right here. So it's about right here. And it's a solid line again. And then I'm going to highlight it. Blue. Sounds good. And it goes underneath. Now it says, what are possible dimensions? So you're going to take points in this section where the two highlighters meet and put some points down. So I can say it could be 100 by 60 or 40. There's one possible answer. I could do 120 by it looks like by 40. Or you could say by 30. It doesn't matter. Any of those in between those numbers. So here's some possible answers that you can say. You just have to choose points in between. Don't put decimals. Just put whole numbers for your answers, for possible answers. All right. Suppose Ashley needs $2.40 in postage to mail package to a friend. She has 9 stamps, some 20 cent and some 34 cent. How many of each do you need to mail the package? Okay, notice on the first one I put A plus B, so the both stamps all together, they equal 9 of them. And then on the second one I put the money all together, except I took away the cents, so it's 20A plus 34B equals 240. Now you're going to do all the kind of same graphing I did before. Get A by itself, make that your Y, and graph it. See you later. Bye-bye.